Hi everyone, this is again Sujan from DIGI9. So this will be broadly on the features of marketplace. So the previous videos gave you a rough idea on what an e-commerce website looks like and what an e-commerce mobile application looks like. So this video will be completely on what a marketplace is, and very similar to it, we can develop a website for a marketplace, and we can also develop a mobile application for a marketplace, right? And this is, as I've already said, it is developed generally on WordPress, and this is generally developed on Flutter, React, etc. So this is with respect to the introduction about marketplace. So let us first understand what a marketplace is. So let us consider an application. So Mintra. So is Mintra an e-commerce or a marketplace, right? So what is Mintra? So how do you define an e-commerce and a marketplace? So when it comes to e-commerce, there is only one seller, right? The person who is selling, who is your client, basically who comes to develop an e-commerce application, there is only one seller, and of course there will be multiple buyers, right? But when it comes to a marketplace, there will be multiple sellers, multiple sellers. It is not just one seller, and of course buyers will be infinite, etc. Many buyers, right? So if you can categorize Mintra now, what is Mintra? Is it an e-commerce or a marketplace? So Mintra, not everybody can become a seller on Mintra. You and I cannot become a seller on Mintra. It should be the companies. So Mintra as a whole is a single entity. It is one single entity. So the Mintra Private Limited, private company limited, they are a single entity who is managing the application there, and we are purchasing on it. Another example could be Now, managed by Arvind Lifestyle. Okay, Arvind Fashion Lifestyle. Another example is Zepto. Okay, Zepto is one single entity. I mean, it is managed by a single entity. Blinkit, same, right? So, what is the example of a marketplace? Any examples of marketplace that you can think of? Amazon. So, marketplace. So, the best example is Amazon. How? Anybody can become a seller here. Anybody can become a seller, right? So if you have a product, for example, if you have a glass product like a glass jar or something unique, so where do you want to sell it online? If somebody wants to sell it online, what is the first thing that comes onto your mind? List it on Amazon, right? There is something called as listing. You list your product on Amazon. So Amazon is the best example for a marketplace. Another like a good example that you use daily is Swiggy and Zomato. How Swiggy and Zomato? So consider myself to be a hotelier. So I own this hotel called A. Consider I own this hotel called A. So I want to sell my products on an online platform, right? I want customers to book food on my online platform. So either I can choose to have my own application, or I can simply list it on Swiggy or Zomato, right? So Swiggy has multiple restaurants, multiple restaurants, and the entity is managed by the Swiggy Private Limited. It is called Bundle Technologies, and Zomato is also managed by Zomato Private Technologies, and both host multiple restaurants. So, brief it upon brief everything altogether. Let us consider Swiggy. This Swiggy Private Limited, right? It will be the super admin, or to simply call it admin, right? And the hotels here, all the hotels here will be called as the vendors, right? It might be Hotel A, Hotel B, it can be any shop that is delivering any groceries. So these are called vendors. On the other end, it's we, the customers. Customers are called as users. So always note when you're developing a marketplace, there are three entities. One is the admin, who will be managing the overall platform, who has access to each and everything, who will be ensuring that the vendors register themselves and vendor logs in, and who also has a bird eye view on how much a vendor is making, the commission that he has to pay him, everything. There'll be vendors, that is different hotels or different sellers, etc. And there'll be customers, that are users. So there'll be three separate logins, three separate login base, I could tell you. Right, so let's quickly jump on the features in the PDF. It is very similar to an e-commerce platform, but this broad understanding is very important to differentiate between a marketplace and an e-commerce, right? So marketplace website, of course, it is developed on WordPress again. So there is B2C, you can either sell it to customers directly, I mean, sell products directly to consumers. B2B is, for example, you're selling only to businesses, right? If you're taking any large orders. So you can either see basically these customers, businesses are all separate logins. They come under the category of users, right? And there is a vendor model. It allows third-party sellers to list and sell their products. For example, hotels or in Amazon's, it can be any sellers. So they're all third-party sellers basically. So it's a vendor model. And on top of all this, there is an admin who will be the absolute owner. It can be an entity, it can be a person. So they'll be the absolute owner. So these are the pricing. Of course, since there are three separate logins, it is expensive, more expensive than e-commerce. E-commerce, there is sirf just one seller and multiple buyers. But when we are developing a marketplace, we'll have to ensure there is an admin, and we'll have to ensure there is vendor login and vendor management, and we'll have to ensure user management. So there are three verticals that we are managing altogether. So obviously, it'll be much expensive than an e-commerce, typical e-commerce website or a mobile application. So let us quickly go through the features of it. It is very similar to the e-commerce responsive design. As I've already told you, the website or the mobile application fits to the size of the screen. User account management, there is registration and login for the users. These features are user centric, specifically user centric majorly. We'll come to vendor later. So they can register using Facebook, Gmail, or username, password, or OTP, mobile number, OTP, etc. They can manage their profiles. They can add their shipping information, payment methods, etc. There'll be a search bar where they can allow for where they can search for products. There'll be a product catalog where they can view the catalog of products in a very well organized manner, and product pages very similar to e-commerce. Filter and sort options, again based on the whatever they're searching, we can give filter up to two verticals. Typically it will be pricing and discount, and sort up to two verticals, or brand, whatever it is. Basically it will be very simple. Shopping cart and checkout process is very similar to e-commerce. There's a wish list where you can save your favorite items. Cart functionality where you can add, modify, and remove products. Secure checkout, it'll direct you to a third-party payment gateway, something like Razor Pay or Phone Pay. And order confirmation tracking, again integrated to third party, something like ShipRocket or eCart, very similar to e-commerce. This is what we follow, and there is order history where you can view your past orders and structures, FAQs and help centers. We can also integrate intercom or other chat bots, as I explained in the previous video. And there's a contact us page. There's database access of the onboarded customers. The admin will get this details. And there is policies, terms and conditions, return and refund policy. Those are simple text or PDFs attached, right? There is social media links that are attached if they have a social media page, app links that are attached if they have an app page, like an Android or an iOS app, and there'll be header and footer, there'll be a payment gateway shipping, very similar to it. And the mobile applications also is pretty simple like that. Cross-platform, responsive mobile design, user account management, browsing, shopping features is again filter and sort options, and shopping cart, order confirmation, payment gateway, database access, policy, support and community, navigation and extras. So this is with respect to user centric. So what features will an admin have? As I've already told, for admin dashboard, we'll be doing a separate video. Before I show the admin dashboard, let me just simply go through it. So admin dashboard can have an overall overview of the platform. He'll have access to each and everything with respect to the number of vendors, number of users, what is happening, how much payment is happening, who is making how much, everything. And he can help vendors list their items on the application. So basically, vendors will have a separate platform on this app. They will have a separate login where they can list their items, basically like with images, descriptions, keywords, product name, etc. So he will help them with a separate login, right? Separate database as such. We will create it for them, and they will help the vendors. Content control. He can view what the vendors' products are. He can see what the vendors are posting, and he can have it for quality check or ethical check, whatever it is, so that unsafe content can be removed. So he will have absolute access over everything that the vendor is posting. Payment monitoring for the vendors, he can view the stats of the vendors and the products being sold. For example, how much is the vendor selling? So vendor A, let's consider vendor A, he has sold 10 products, and for that he has received rupees 1000, right? He will have basically access to this. He can see who is selling what, how much. User management, he can manage user roles and account roles. He can see basically users, he can see the database of users, their profile, their shipping methods, what is their priority and everything. So he will have access to everything. Vendor management, so for example, if I have to enroll myself on Swiggy, right? So I will approach Swiggy and I will give a particular number of documents, my PAN card, my company, my Aadhaar card, my company incorporation certificate, my FSSI license. I will provide it to Swiggy, and I'll ask the Swiggy to upload myself on the Swiggy platform. So basically, when I submit these documents, they can either approve or reject. So there'll be a separate portal where the vendors can simply put their documents, list out their documents, and ask the admin to approve them to be eligible on the platform for so that they can sell their products on that particular platform. So in the long run, the vendor can either approve or reject the vendor applications, right? Product management, sorry, oversee product listings and categories of the vendors. They can individually see vendor wise, like vendor one, what products he has listed, vendor two, what products he has listed, right? So everything they can see clearly. And order managements, like what vendor got what products, like how are they managing it. So has the vendor actually processed the order? Has he sent it? So overall management he can basically do. Payment and commission management. So manage payment processing and commission calculation. So for example, what happens in a marketplaces, there is an admin and there are many vendors, right? Vendor one, vendor two. So every time each vendor makes a sale, when they make a sale, say for example 100 rupees, this 100 rupees completely doesn't go to the vendor alone. A part of it goes to the admin as well as a commission. So they would have set a pre-norm. For example, 10% is my commission. So for example, if the vendor is making a sales of rupees say 15,000, so there'll be a dashboard where the admin will get to know, okay, 10% is my commission is 1,500 rupees. So this is what the payment and commission management says. They can see the calculation of the commissions and payments, track and update outstanding balances to every vendor. So basically, what is the outstanding balance that the vendor has to give or they have to give to the vendor? See, all this doesn't happen inside the application. It is just a calculation page that we're going. In-app settlement won't happen anywhere because it is bank related, but they will get a page where calculations is happening, and basically the admin will get to know how much he has to pay the vendor and what is the commission. So that is with respect to payment and commission management. The financial reports are generated, basic financial reports, promotion and marketing. So to do promotion and marketing, there are basically banners. So for example, there are multiple vendors, right? Multiple vendors, and vendor X wants to throw an ad. So on top of the application or this thing website, there is a banner where you can advertise, right? So promotion and marketing can be a part of it. So vendors can actually advertise and admin can earn out of it. And the admin can also create basic discount coupons. So what are basic discount coupons? It is, as I've previously explained in the previous e-commerce video, the coupon is applicable across all the users, and there is no time limit, date limit, and it can be up to a certain specific rupees or percentage, and they can simply apply and they will get the discount. So that is there. Analytics and reporting, there will be basic comprehensive report that is generated. It will be very basic. I mean, how much is being sold, what are the products being sold. So those analytics are available, and content management. The admin can manage, as I said, the banners, the advertisements, the promotional content. So basically, he can add them or modify or remove them as and when required, right? So this is with respect to the admin features. Admin has so many features because he's kind of like super admin, right? He owns the application, so he must be allowed to do all this. So when it comes to vendor, who's a vendor? The sellers. So what features will a vendor have? So basically, seller registration and authentication process. As I said, if I want to sell on Swiggy, I'll have to register myself. Register myself. So basically, there'll be an onboarding platform which will have a process where they can submit their suitable documents. So that is where that platform will be created to the vendor as soon as they download the application or get into the website. There'll be a register as a vendor option where they once they click on that, they can upload their documents and drop in a message, and the request goes to the admin. Request will go to the admin, and admin can either approve or deny. And once approved, there'll be a simple and a secure login and account management, right? So this is with respect to the vendor login, vendor registration and authentication. Once the vendor logs into the platform, he can add his products, he can edit the products that they were he or she had posted before, or he or she can delete the product listing. So that is called product management. Basically, if you want to sell glass items on Amazon, you can add images of glasses or separate products. You can modify the quantity, the description, or the images, and you can also delete them, right? So that is with respect to product management of the vendor. Bulk product upload via CSV. For example, you're selling 1,000 different pieces of glasses, right? You cannot individually upload all the items. That will take a lot of time. So if you can give it in a CSV file in a separate format, there'll be a bulk upload option. Of course, the admin has to approve all of this. So generally, he has to approve, or the will have access to, individually scroll through all the products that comes under the QA part, quality assurance part. But also bulk upload of items or product listing is also possible, provided they give it in a CSV format, right? And inventory management, of course, how much products were sold, how much products were actually being shipped. So that basic inventory management will be given here. So all these things, when I do a video on the admin dashboard, all these features will be shown to you. That will be probably in the next video. So this is just a brief idea to understand what a marketplace is. You'll get a fair idea when I actually show you the admin dashboard and the vendor dashboard, right? And order management, you can view what orders that has been received, and you can manage those orders like shipped. You can update the status to be shipped or out of stock. So basically, you can manage these orders if they're in line. So how much orders are there? For example, if you're selling some glass pieces, five products are left. So once you sell something, it'll automatically revert to four. From five to it'll get shifted to four. So this is with respect to order management. And order status can be updated like processing, shipping, shipped, delivered, etc. Payment and invoicing, this is again calculation as I told. So, for example, the admin would have to pay him. For example, the vendor has sold a product of 15,000. The admin will cut 10% and he would keep 1,500. So, the balance is 13,500, right? So, payment and invoicing, the vendor will actually get to see, okay, 13,500 is pending. And once it is paid, the vendor can update it to be paid. The vendor can see this also. So all these features are generally available in a marketplace. This is what defines a marketplace. So marketplace, we have developed certain applications. Haido's is one good application that we have developed. It's both on mobile app as well as a website. So when I'm making the video for admin dashboard, right, I'll also show you the front end. Front end will be very simple. So this is a basic understanding of a marketplace. See this video a couple of times because generally people get confused between an e-commerce and a marketplace. And any doubts, I'm always accessible. This is just the features, and probably I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, right. Thank you.